Hi everyone! Welcome back to my channel. My name is Daniela and this is Crafting with a Cocktail, where we make crafts and cocktails all in one segment. Today is a little bit different because all of the DIYs are part of the Sippin and Chillin Summer Challenge hosted by Megan the Crafty Quinn and Andrea Peacock DIY. And so for today's drink, I am having a nice refreshing Coca-Cola. So cheers and let's get started. This is my absolute favorite of all the DIYs in this Coca-Cola themed video. They are all Coca-Cola themed because I picked it as my refreshing summer drink for this challenge. And I'm starting off with just a pizza pan and some red acrylic paint. Now I am using a high quality acrylic paint because I wanted the glossiness, I wanted the thickness of the consistency. And so that's what I'm going in. I'm going in with a student grade acrylic, which means it's good quality. Well, it's student quality if you're studying the arts. It's not professional quality, and it's definitely better than craft quality. I picked up this pizza pan at the local grocery store for $4. I literally went to 3 different dollar stores and they were all closed because there was like a shortage in staffing or something like that. I don't know, they were all closed at 6 o'clock, but that's what I heard in my community, is that there's a shortage of staffing for the dollar stores. I don't know. Anyways, picked it up for $4. I wasn't sure how I felt about that kind of textured background on it, but I actually ended up liking it in the end. It doesn't bother me much. So once I've got that completely coated, I did coat it completely twice, so I took time to dry it. I'm going in and painting a bottle in the background. So I'm going in and painting a green bottle. I'm looking at a picture kind of as a basis here. I actually didn't plan to make this themed off any other picture or sign I had seen, but I felt like if I just did Coca-Cola it would be a little plain, because the initial point of me doing a pizza pan was I thought it would look like the bottle cap of a glass bottle. So I did gain a little bit of inspiration from a sign here. It's still a bit different. I don't add in the brown. I don't paint the edges. So it is still a bit different, and I liked styling it as my own. So I'm just going in with several different shades of green and kind of just winging it based off the picture that I looked at until I'm happy with my painting of my Coke bottle. Once I was done with my painting and I finished up my highlights, which I always find is the most important part of painting, is really getting some of those areas to pop, I printed out the Coca-Cola logo on my Cricut. Cut it out, I should say, not printed it. My understanding is, even though it's a copyright brand, if I'm making it for myself, it's okay as long as I'm not selling it or anything like that. Let me know if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure I've seen lots of DIYers do Disney things, so that's my understanding. So I pulled it off as carefully as I could. What I should have done is Mod Podge it first, because it did peel up some of the red paint and the green paint from the bottle. I even dabbed off some of my transfer paper onto my shirt so it wouldn't be as sticky, and I was hoping to avoid some of that, but it did end up peeling up some of the paint, which I fixed up off camera. It honestly wasn't that bad, but it was enough to want to at least fix it up a little bit. Then I thought I would add a little bit of distressing, so I am just dry brushing some white acrylic paint with my chippy brush and just going around the edges. I didn't really go in the center much, just around the edges of the circle itself and the actual side edges of the pizza pan, because it looked wavy, almost like a bottle cap, which is the whole kind of inspiration of this idea, was the idea of the bottle cap. This, like I said, is my favorite DIY of this video. I honestly think this looks professionally made, and I already have it hanging up in my kitchen. Let me know what you guys think down below. Before we move on to our next Coca-Cola DIY, I just want to give a big thanks to the Crafty Quinn and Andrea Peacock DIY for hosting this Sippin and Chillin DIY Decor Challenge. Thanks so much for having me, and honestly, I wasn't sure how this would go, but I love all my DIYs. This is the easiest DIY you will ever see. I made a magnet out of my Coca-Cola bottle cap, so I'm just hammering the top. Now this was a mistake. I have made many of these before, not in DIY videos, but just in general. And I thought if I did that, it would kind of spread out those little crinkly edges, and instead it made the main circle area of the bottle cap just cave in. So what I recommend doing is what I'm doing now, is actually just flipping it over and helping those crinkled edges fan out by just lightly tapping them with a hammer. I've got some paper towel underneath there just to protect anything from getting scratched or ruined, including the paint on the bottle cap itself. So like I said, don't hammer the top like I did initially. I didn't think it would cave in, but it did. What I was trying to do is fan it out. And the reason we have to do that is so that when I attach the magnet, it is actually flush to the refrigerator. Otherwise, the magnet is too thick, and then it's not actually like adhering to it. It's got a little gap between the bottle cap and the refrigerator itself. I coated it with some glossy Mod Podge, let that dry, and then I'm just using some Gorilla Glue to attach my little magnet piece. These come in a big roll. I don't remember how many come in them because, like I said, I've been making these for a couple years now. But it comes with a big old pack of them if you just buy them at Walmart. Easy peasy Coca-Cola and lemon slice squeezy. Here are some other examples I have that I also added some glitter Mod Podge to. I've done Corona. That one has some gold glitter, and then the Leinenkugels one just has silver glitter around the edges. It's kind of hard to see in the pictures, but really, really cute. I hope you're all enjoying these Coca-Cola themed DIYs. A great way to enjoy Coca-Cola could be with some rum. I love rum and cokes and a squeeze of lime. You can't forget that part. But my favorite way to enjoy Coca-Cola is just by itself with a squeeze of a lemon or a lime, just like that, poured over ice. But I thought I would enjoy it straight out of the bottle today. Just thought I'd throw in some tips. If you're new here, I would love for you to like, comment, and subscribe and hang around the channel so we can keep growing this community. Let's jump right back into our DIYs. Cheers. This is a felt Coca-Cola bottle. Now I've got it hanging off my emptied Coca-Cola bottle because I don't have a Christmas tree up, and this would be a great ornament. However, this could also make a great little patch if you want to make it for like a backpack or something like that. I just started by drawing out the basic outline of the Coca-Cola bottle, the label, and the cap on a regular piece of printer paper, and I'm just cutting it out with scissors. This is going to form the basis of all of my different sections of different colored felt, not just one. So I cut it out and I just left it whole right away. Then I worked at it piece by piece. Now I knew the whole basis of my ornament or patch was going to be green, just like the bottles, the old bottles if you've ever seen them, or if you've seen them in vintage photos and stuff like that. So I'm just tracing the entire outline of the bottle out on my green felt and cutting that out as well. Now, like I said, I'm moving piece by piece. So that one I knew I needed whole before moving on and cutting out any smaller pieces. Then I move on to the next size piece that I will need, which would be the red label and the red little cap. I don't think that I show the cap on camera after I cut it because I was in debate, but basically I'm doing the same thing. I cut out my section that I need, that's the label area, cutting it out in red, and then I move on to the next section. So I wasn't sure if I was going to add brown for the Coke itself, but I think it added actually a lot to this piece. So I do end up doing that. I'm just cutting off the areas where I think the brown should go, which would be inside of those green lines. So that's the way it seems like there actually is Coca-Cola inside of the bottle. At the end here, I'm just narrowing the pieces down a little bit extra to make sure, again, there's some sort of an outline between the green and the brown outline, or the green and brown felt, I should say. And then it's just time to assemble. I am going to add all my pieces on there, my label, my Coca-Cola, my little tiny cap that I made, and I'm just hot gluing them together. Again, this would be great as a patch for like a backpack or something like that. Or I did it just inspired by an ornament, inspired as an ornament because of all this Christmas and July stuff I've been seeing on all over YouTube. So I guess you could say this is kind of my addition to that. But I think this is a fabulous DIY, and in fact, I think all three of these are, to be honest, because Coca-Cola is so Classic. Here I'm adding some thin strips of white felt just for a little reflection. Like I said earlier, highlights really add so much to a piece. It really makes it go the extra level. Now it felt a little plain, so I decided I can't fit Coke or Coca-Cola on there, so I just cut out a C that was in a similar curvy shape to the Coca-Cola logo, and trust me, this is pretty hard to cut with those pink scissors you see. If you have detail scissors, I highly recommend that. And I just barely glued it piece by piece until it was fully on there, and I think with the C, it really gave the full effect that it was a Coca-Cola bottle. To make it hangable, if you don't want hangable, again, you can just like use fabric glue and stick this onto a backpack or a fanny pack, whatever. I made mine hangable to be an ornament, so I used some gold embroidery floss that I tied into a knot, glued onto the back, and then so that you couldn't see that, I glued another piece of green felt to match the back right over that embroidery floss. These DIYs really remind me of one of my best friends, Chad, who he and I would literally just sit and eat snacks and Coca-Cola all the time in high school, and he's got a bunch of Coca-Cola Decor in his basement as well. So cheers to all of you, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye!